What's going on, people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time. Now, I hope you're feeling the rebrand, the new look. Yes, we are putting some effort into the pod. Now, if you're listening over at Spotify or Apple Music, make sure you come over to the YouTube because the creator I've got today is the sickest and you want to see her. Yes, you want to like that video and you want to drop a comment. Now, on today's episode, I have a video game content creator. She is a YouTuber, she is a streamer, she is a director. You might know her from the Girl Games of Lost Media. You see the documentary everywhere. The Mean Girls, it's on all of the profiles. She's got big hair. She's the RoboCop loving, retro playing. That's so Raven Simone, aka Bobdunga. Welcome to Too Many Games and Not Enough Time.
Hello, Mr. Midas. I love the intro.
Thank you. Firstly, welcome. We're gonna get straight into it. Obviously, Raven Simone, that's the name. But where does Bobdunga come from? Like, I've known about you for ages, and it's been a question that's always been on my head. I'm always like, where has this name come from?
Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. But it actually came from when I was like 14 years old, and I think I just got the PlayStation 3, and I wanted to be a part of like the PlayStation Live network. So I wanted to disguise my identity because at the time, you know, if you were like a kid or a girl on on the Live network, you'd either be asked to like make a sandwich or something else. So the name Bobdunga was more or less something to just disguise my identity, so nobody would know if I, you know, what I was online.
That's crazy. I thought it might be something to do with you was watching Bob the Builder, and then outside you saw Dung Beetle, and you was like, yeah, those two connect together really well.
Well, funnily enough, the Bob comes from Bob from Reboot, so it's got a little bit of a cartoon reference. Yeah.
So that makes sense. Now, firstly, I really want to congratulate you on the success of the Mean Girls documentary. Like, I've been aware of you for a long time, and I think the content you do is great. And it's been so amazing, like seeing it everywhere, like news outlets reposting it and stuff like that. How did it feel to just see that it's taken off? Like, you've put in loads of work, and I hate that whole thing of, oh, someone just come from nowhere and blown up, because you haven't. I've seen the groundwork and you've worked non-stop. But how did it feel for it to become such a success?
Yeah, well, when I went into the documentary series, because the Mean Girls documentary was actually the first installment of docs that I wanted to start up, because before that I was doing video game reviews and like retro analysis videos. So it was kind of like this big labor of love, where it was more like a passion project. And then over time, it just became something bigger. So it was nice to see that like something that came from like a really good place and something that took a long time had like a very good payout at the end. It was nice because like I got to get connections with other people in the industry, and I feel like it's helped my career in a lot of ways. So I think it's all been very positive.
It's amazing because like it takes a lot of work to do a documentary. It takes a lot of work to do a normal YouTube video. Like,
yeah,
my background is TV, so I've always been in front of the camera. I do like all of the pre-production, writing scripts and stuff like that. But I haven't had to be an editor. And then when COVID happened, I literally had to record my own gameplay, edit it and stuff. And it is work. And your production level is amazing. So I'm really, really pleased that it's been a success. And just wanted to give you your flowers because you're great at what you do. You feel me?
Thank you.
But let's talk some gaming. Cool. Yeah. Let's talk some gaming. So we're going to take it back. You get me? We're going back to little Bob. You get me? When Bob was a little one. You get me? Before you was a dung beetle. Yeah, before you was a dung beetle and them ting there. What got you into gaming?
I sort of just like grew up around it. My dad was a computer programmer, so he had a lot of like, I would often get the PC games like Putt-Putt or Doom or Quake. And then we also had the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. So I grew up like playing a lot of retro games. And I think my favorite's probably PlayStation. I can't ever betray Sony.
That's dope, man. So like you said, you do a lot of retro stuff. And what's really cool is the retro space is becoming more and more popular. It was
Yeah.
really niche before, but I'm seeing more content creators and even more amazing, more Black women in the space as well, and it really kind of opening it up. If someone like me, right, I've been a gamer forever, yeah. One of my favorite consoles ever, favorite retro console is, no, I'm lying. It's not my favorite retro console. It's my favorite underrated underdog retro console is the Dreamcast. Love it. I think the Dreamcast is like one of my most underrated console. If me or someone else was like, do you know what? I want to become a collector. I want to get into these retro games. What would your advice be?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Have a lot of money.
Okay. I feel like for retro collecting, it really depends on like, because there's a lot of different classics, but I feel like they all appeal to like different audiences. So somebody like me, like I've never had any like Sega Dreamcast or anything like that, but if I had the money, if I was like a big kingpin, I'd probably spend like all my money on all of the PlayStation greatest hits like Crash Bandicoot 2, Spyro, Medieval, just like that whole roster, because those early games were very like influential in my budding love for gaming.
Love it. All right, so you're a retro gamer. I know you play the new things. I'm a big PlayStation guy, and my favorite game, Final Fantasy 7 is like one of the most incredible games in my life. And when I remember watching it at E3, and then I was watching, I was like, wow, this looks like, no, it can't be. And then I saw Cloud and the Buster Sword. I was like, wow. And what retro game would you love to get full upgrade, full remaster? Like what game would be like amazing for you?
Okay, for me, I think what is it? Brave Fencer Musashi, because it's a Squaresoft title, kind of Square Enix, but it's like a phenomenal game, and I feel like it's just kind of been left in the dust. They did have like a PlayStation 2 like spiritual successor, but it didn't compare to the original at all.
Yeah, that's actually a big title. Like kudos on that one. All right, so we've had some time off. The world has been crazy for the last couple of years. Pandemic has changed everything, but it's kind of giving gamers a little bit more time to actually play some stuff, be able to play some of our backlogs and get some time in. What have you been playing recently?
Recently, I've been really partial to like single player games or couch multiplayers. And okay, I totally understand why It Takes Two got Game of the Year. I went into that not expecting it to have as much variety as it did. There's like so many different mini games, but it's like, okay, first you're doing like first person shooter, and then it turns into a top down game. It's really cool. And I think anybody who doesn't have too much experience gaming, they'll get the same amount of pleasure out of it as an experienced gamer. It's just great.
It Takes Two is incredible, and I was blown away. And I feel like It Takes Two didn't get the marketing that A Way Out did, and I think it's much better than A Way Out. Like, I couldn't believe it when it became a dungeon crawler. I was like, wow, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I just never expected that. I feel like there's only two things for me that I felt a little lackluster, which has probably made it a bit harder. I don't really like the character designs. I think the character designs of the two main pro tags, I think could have been a lot better. If they were more kind of like Toy Story in your face, I think more people would have been a lot more excited about it.
I agree. Yeah, it was definitely trying to get that vibe, but at the same time, when you looked at the humans, there was a bit of like a mismatch there. So I understand.
Yeah, it was a mad disconnect. But yeah, I think it's a really good game, and I think I was shocked that it won Game of the Year, but I completely understand, because I think more than any game this year, probably the only game this year that's probably surprised me that much is Deathloop.
Yeah.
I think anyone that went into it wasn't expecting very much, and that doesn't happen in gaming anymore. Like, we expect the world.
Yeah, it's like, give me this, give me that, I want it now.
Yeah, it's
usually
like,
we're very demanding as gamers.
Exactly. So to get something that's just chill is cool. All right, Raven, you're at home, yeah? You're chilling your phone's ringing, you look at your phone and you're like, what is this weird number? I don't know this weird number. And then the person on the other end is like, Raven, this is Warner Brothers, yeah? We've got 10 million sitting right now. We want you to pitch us a RoboCop game. What's the game?
Oh, RoboCop game. Oh God, this is an elevator pitch.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
So the year is 2044 and RoboCop is back to save the day, except there is one twist. He ain't got no legs. That's it.
He ain't got no legs.
He ain't got no legs. They're gone. They're gone.
I'm in shock. Come on, tell me more.
Yep.
What type of game is it? Are we a third-person shooter? Are we FPS? What
FPS, but then it switches to platformer, where instead of legs, you just got like a little rocket down there.
And then when we shift to platformer, are we 2D or 3D platformers?
3D.
This sounds crazy.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm risking my 10 million budget on it.
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers might be like, we'll talk to you later.
Sorry, I think I called the wrong Raven.
Yeah. Oh, I thought this was that's so Raven. Okay, I'm sorry.
Super dope. So tell me about some of your fondest memories when it comes to gaming. Like when I think about my life in the industry, like I started out as a musician and I was in music for years, and then I got into TV, but I've been a gamer longer than I've done anything. And games like The Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy 7, they have pinnacles in my life. Mario Kart, GoldenEye. What are some of the games that are like make up who you are as not even just as a creator, just as a human being?
Yeah. For me, there's actually a few games that have given me like that sort of wholesome experience, or something that like I carry with me in the rest of my work. But I think one of the biggest ones was when I was younger. I lived in a household where I wasn't allowed to play a lot of scary games. You know, you don't want to scare the little siblings and stuff like that. So I remember when I asked my parents I could finally get like more mature games, they brought me Shadow of the Colossus. And that game, I honestly, like one day I'm going to get a tattoo of like Valis the Colossus, like on my arm or something. But I thought it was like a horror game, but it didn't turn out to be that way. So I went into it not really knowing what to expect. And something about the fact that there's almost zero dialogue, but something about the music and the atmosphere created more of a story narrative. I think that's when I started to realize that games could be cinematic in that way. And it always kind of stuck with me in the work that I do today. It's a very great game.
Super, super dope. So I actually missed it when it originally came round. I don't know how, but I completely missed it. And I played the remaster and I was like, this is mad. Like the level of bigness of the Colossi and when you're climbing them and stuff. But it's such a manipulative game because you feel guilty every minute. You're like you know you're doing something, you're meant to be doing something right, but it has this guilt in you. And even when you don't know what the big reveal is, you just always feel like, am I doing something like every time I beat up Bowser, I don't care. I never feel bad about beating up Bowser.
Boom, that's it.
Yeah, but there's Colossus like do you think that was really integral in the game design?
I think so, because you get sort of like this bittersweet feeling where like, you know, you're supposed to do this, but you feel a lot of guilt as it's happening. And I think the background music, the like cinematic score, or like the video game music behind it, it's so beautiful because it really articulates what's going on without actually having to say it through the dialogue. So as the game was sort of building up towards the end, the way that the music changed, I was like, okay, something's coming. And I feel really sad right now.
Yeah, the score is incredidible, just like you said. All right, I've got a next question for you, putting you on the spot. So I've got friends who've got a podcast called the Burnout Brighter podcast, super dope. And they basically asked me to pitch them a Persona game. Like I love Persona, I'm a big RPG guy. And I was like, the next Persona I want is basically the French Prince of Bel-Air. So Will Smith is the pro tag, and he's gone to a new school, and all of the girls are like thingy, and then Uncle Phil, rest in peace. He's like, he's a ghost, and he's tried to take you on the journey. And Will's dad, who was just horrible in the show, is actually the evil protagonist that you're trying to beat. I want you to pitch me, obviously Uncle Phil, he's there, he's in the background, he's representing, he's looking down on us. Pitch me a French Prince of Bel-Air game. And Will needs to have legs. Just saying.
Will needs to have legs. I'll say, you know what? I think a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air game would do really well as kind of like a Life is Strange slice of life dating simulator. Because, you know, Will, he's a bachelor in the beginning. So it would be like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will is in high school, you know, trying to pick up girls, and like under the watchful eye of Uncle Phil. I almost said Dr. Phil. He wouldn't be in the game. Uncle Phil comes in there, and then Carlton gives him crappy advice, and he's got like a little health and stamina bar when he lucks out with people. I just think that would be hilarious.
I think that's a really good idea, actually. A Life is Strange kind of. I didn't even think of that. I think that would actually work perfect with different decisions and dating. Yeah, that's
instead of like the little D&D mini game that's in Life is Strange, it's like a little dance game because Will's always dancing and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. And the music, because you know Life is Strange is all about the audio.
Oh yeah.
But would it be the power though? Because Life is Strange, you always gotta have some type of power.
Oh, that's true. Oh, Will's could be the power of persuasion because he always talks himself out of stuff.
See, like I was thinking that, but I was thinking the power where he could rap and talk people into doing whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, like what's that song? Parents don't understand, or something like that.
Exactly, just spit some bars and he talks somebody into a situation. So, too many games, not enough time. We as gamers, as content creators, we love video games, but it feels like there's just too many. There's loads and loads and loads. What games from your backlog are a must for you to complete? And have you completed Nier yet?
No, I have not. That's actually on my backlog. It was like this weird time in the summer where I was trying different things. Like that's the summer that I finished Detroit Become Human. And by the way, that's a pretty good game. I know people are kind of like 50-50 about it, but I personally really liked it. So that's on the backlog. There was also Ghost of Tsushima, which I played the first like hour of, and okay, that's a game that you could really like clock a bunch of hours in by yourself. And I'm excited to like finish that probably like February or something. But one game that I'm having a lot of trouble with is The Sims 4. I just realized I'm not a good interior designer.
All right. Firstly, Detroit Become Human is so sick. It is a really, really good game. And the struggle of like obviously being a black person in life, like we've always had to face racism and face discrimination and stuff like that. And that whole game is that premise of that, and it's done in such a great way. Ghost of Tsushima, you have to complete. That game is incredible. Like I always say it's the best Assassin's Creed ever made.
I know. Honestly, anything from Sucker Punch, Naughty Dog, or Insomniac is like really top tier for me. So I'm excited to finish that.
Yeah, it's incredible. PlayStation first parties, don't play around.
Yes.
Don't mention Days Gone. Days Gone was bad. But yeah, other than Days Gone, like PlayStation first party, do not mess around. They are incredible. You know what's really funny? I love The Sims. Like, I love The Sims. I spend so much time on The Sims. Exactly the same as you. I am trash at interior design. I'll make characters with stuff like that, and then I'll give it to my missus, and I'm like, can you put in all the little bits? Like I can't do it.
Yeah, I think we just need to watch more tutorials because there's so many cool things. It's like Animal Crossing. I could play Animal Crossing for hours, but when it comes to like making my nest look amazing, I'll just have like a plant over there and like a little poster at the side. Do
you know what I love about Sims though? I don't make any content. Sims is literally for me to just play. Like, I will never in my life make a video. I'm not doing any content for it. It's it's probably the one game that's fully escapism. There's nothing to do with my career. Like, Sims has got nothing. The only thing it's got to do with my career is that I get hookups from EA from it because of what I do. But I refuse to do any content for it because it's just a way for me to escape from
you don't want it to feel like it's work when it's something that you use to like escape and relax.
Exactly. And you kind of lose that. Oh, Raven, I could speak to you all day, but we're running out of time. Like, we're such a short form podcast thingy. But like I said, your documentary was really, really cool. I felt like you put so much work in, and I love those kind of well-produced long-form content, and what you're doing is incredible. Just really shortly and really quick, if you wanted to give anyone advice who's coming up, who loves what you do, and kind of be like, look, I'd love to be in a space like that, and I'd love to kind of create the way you do, not giving away your secrets, but just what advice will you give to up and coming?
I think probably if you want to get into content creation, make sure it's a subject that you're super passionate about and that you have a fascination with, so that you can do those deeper dives. And don't worry if it's like something nobody's heard before. I think at the end of the day, if it's something that you're really passionate about, then the work will speak for itself, and then people will come.
People will come, and that's it. She's been incredible. Please go and check out her content, check out all the videos. And I've been talking about the documentaries, but there's loads of stuff over there that's incredible. You got amazing reviews, you got rewinds, you got deep dives, you got it all, fam. You get me? Like, the content is A1. So go and check it out. Where can people find you on social media?
Yep, you can find me at youtube.com/c/Bobdunga92, and the same thing on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, she's on the gram. You can't see it right now, but she's got the big hair, fam. You need to see the big hair. You need to watch the videos with the big hair. She's repping the big hair out here. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. If you have, you are the MVPs. Now, remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment, leave a like, a thumbs up. If you are listening to us on one of those podcast services, man, I don't know which one, make sure you give us a 5-star review. I've been Mr. Midas. You've been the MVP, and she's been That's So Raven. We out of here. Peace.